As did I. Yes.
On a very deep level, because every day I'm like, like, here we go again. I have to eat. I have to wipe my ass. I have to drink water. I have to, and all of these things. I have to have a human job. And I can't just manifest things at will. Like,
this is our space.
What's up, friends?
hola.
Welcome to another episode of Firemouth Anonymous.
Woo woo.
My name is Amira Villalba.
And I am Wendy Serrano.
Ooh, I like it. Sexy, sassy.
Coming in with those rolling
Yes,
R's.
coming in hot. Yes. And today, Wendy and I were thinking, okay, what would be a great topic to talk about? And something that seems to be a reoccurring theme for both of us in different ways is really understanding what it means to be enjoying this human experience. And us sharing both of our perspectives in regards to that and what that means exactly, knowing that we are souls in these meat suits and we're here for however long we're meant to be here. So how can we continue to find the joy and find those things in this human 3D plane that allows us to be able to be present while also being excited about what lies ahead in the future as well. So we thought this would be a great topic to talk about because we love everything existential and spiritual and all the things. So we're like, why not? Let's do it. So
Yeah.
I know that for myself, it's definitely something that from a very young age, I very much struggled in feeling like, why am I in a body? What is body? What is this? What is this for? And especially as a young teen, it was very challenging wanting to stay on this plane of existence. And then it wasn't until I had some very life-changing experiences where I started to see more of the beauty and I really started to connect more with Mother Nature and my spirit guides, my angels, and just the universe and have my own connection. But it took a hot minute. And I know, Wendy, when you and I have talked, I know that for you, you've shared how even to this day, you still have these moments where you're like, why? like why? So, I think it'd be great for us to share both of our perspectives, and I would love for you to share, like, even just some of the more recent experiences that you've had that almost forces you to kind of step back and say, okay, I can either keep trying to push against this resistance, or I can learn how to actually find ways to enjoy being human.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know what that has looked like for you.
Oh, right. Let's just deep dive. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of this is another uncomfortable topic because I feel thank you, Amira.
Yeah.
An uncomfortable topic for me because if I feel like since a child I was disassociating at a very young age, and it would happen every time I'd think about anything existential, and my soul would just peace out. It's like, I don't want to be here. Bye. And I'm just running on autopilot. And it would continue to happen throughout my youth. And it's continued to happen until recently. I think after I started dating Benny is when I started really grounding myself.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
So that wasn't too long ago. Yeah.
Ah.
In 2019, I had that really, it was terrifying is a correct word. If anybody's ever disassociated before, for a couple minutes, you understand what it feels like. You really do not feel present in your body at all. Like you're going through the motions and you're doing things physically, but you don't feel. It just feels like you're two separate entities. So in 2019, I feel like this was all brought on from isolating myself. And I was disassociating 24/7 for a good 3 months. And it was a nightmare. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. It was just terrible. I still had to go to work, so I had to still be human. While not physically being present. I think it was just so much stuff that was going on in my life that I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was doing, and it was just a lot. It was just a lot. So this I feel like it's been a trail of disgust for humanity and being a human my entire life.
So that cynicism, you feel like that was really what was bringing on more of the weight of that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Even since I was little, I was like, I just want to be normal. So from a very young age, I already knew that I didn't fit in. I didn't belong here. I don't want to be here. What am I doing here? Like I felt very misunderstood and all those things. And I've always felt like an outsider.
Can I ask a question actually in
Sure.
regards to that? So, because I know that there are probably people out there who also feel that way. Now, in saying that, when you were having these feelings, it wasn't so much about having like suicidal ideation, was it? Or
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. So there were moments of that, but also just feeling like did it ever feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else?
It always felt like my heart desired to be wherever it was I was supposed to be. That was not here on this plane of existence. I always described it as like the Matrix, where, you know, when they enter the Matrix, they know that they're in a simulation.
Got it. Okay.
That's what it would feel like when I'd have disassociation. I'd have to like ask my mom, is this real? Am I real? Is this real? And then I'd have to somehow get snapped back into my body. But all of that would have, yeah, I mean, I think that anger maybe, you know, like we always say, oh, we signed a soul contract to be humans. Well, I really did forget that. Like,
as did I. Yes.
On a very deep level, because every day I'm like, like, here we go again. I have to eat. I have to wipe my ass. I have to drink water. I have to, you know, and all of these things. I have to have a human job. And I can't just manifest things at will. Like, I actually have to do things. And it's always sad. Like, I feel it right now in my, like, stomach. It's just like, ugh. But all of that has kind of come to a head just recently with a reading from our mutual friend Birdie. And she really took out all the 2x4s and smacked me upside the head a trillion times when she said, I enjoy being a human. I enjoy tasting food. I enjoy smelling the smells and feeling this and this and this. And I enjoy doing this. And when she started saying that, it really just like, it was almost like a burst of wind that just, you know, when you feel a gust of wind just hit you.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me, where I'm like, whoa, I've never heard somebody say these things, that they actually enjoy what it feels like to feel the grass and on your, you know, walking barefoot, or just every single little thing about what we get to experience as humans. It really, really changed my perspective. And from that moment on, I feel like I've been walking in a different way.
I mean, do you not? I enjoy tacos. Like, I love tacos.
Yeah, I mean, it's yes, I love tacos too. But it's like, but it's like it's become so like whatever to me.
I hear that, like,
You know what I'm
mundane.
saying?
It becomes
Yes.
very mundane.
Yeah.
Almost very boring.
Yeah,
Like, okay,
it's
all
just
right.
very-
I wake up every morning. Okay, brush my teeth. I put my clothes on. I go to work, and then
just very like ritualistic and
Got it.
like flatline is what it feels like. And maybe that's just the way that I've been carrying myself throughout my life. Like, again, I feel like just like it almost feels like I'm barely being born into who I've always been destined to be. And everything up to this moment has just been me pretending to be human.
Well, what's interesting too is you say that is, especially since you're in, like, you just recently went into your 40s, and it reminds me of this saying that one of my best friends always said. She said, in your 20s, you're really deciding like what the world is going to give you, like the beliefs and the thoughts, and like what do you believe and what do you don't, and you're in your 20s kind of figuring out who you are, where you're going. Your 30s, there's a little bit more stability where you're just like, okay, I feel like I have somewhat of an idea of what the hell I believe in, my thoughts, things of that nature. And then I remember when she turned 40, 41, she's like, okay, what do I actually want to give back to the world? What does the world mean to me? What does that look like in my relationship as a human with Mother Earth, with nature? And I thought that was really interesting that she said that. So it doesn't surprise me that you're also in this place where you're like, okay, like, what am I doing? Like, where am I going? Like, what is the purpose? Like, what am I doing here in this meat suit?
Yeah.
Like, where am I going?
Well, it's funny because, yes, I agree that, like, how you said, like, your 20s and 30s, but now that I've gone to this place, it's like everything that I thought I wanted. It's literally like I've had, it's not even like an identity crisis, because the things that I learned and that I thought I wanted to be, I've thrown all that shit out the window. So it's like I literally went through a complete death of my past selves. and what I was thought I had to do and be as a human being. And now it's like, okay, I am a soul that chose to be a human. And what does that look like? And again, so like being around you and Birdie and our other friends has made me really open my eyes to like, oh, I can make the choices to embrace this and really like enjoy every single like taste of a taco, you know, like all the little ingredients. And even today, as I was sitting in the movies, I'm like, literally said to myself, I really love the movies and I love the taste of popcorn and I love this movie and I love sitting here in this air conditioning. And it's just like
when it's like 90 something degrees out here and we're dying.
Yeah. So it's just like, I'm finding that I'm telling myself these things more often.
Yeah.
And just learning to embrace all the things that I get to do, which is something that my teacher says, like, you get to do these things. And even the not so fun things that I get to experience unconditional love and the touch of someone's embrace and all these beautiful things that we may not experience in other realities or dimensions or whatever the heck else we get to experience.
It may be very, very different. So yeah, I love that we're really touching on this, because when you think about it, and it reminds me of an exercise an old mentor of mine had me try, where he said, you know what, really utilize all 5 senses plus the 6th sense, which he always mentioned is like your intuition, just that inner like psychic ability. And it's like, imagine you're an alien from a different planet and you've come down to Earth and you're like, and look at a banana for the first time, or look and like use your eyes, your ears, all 5 senses to just look at one object and see the beauty in it. And then even with experiences and different events too. And it was really interesting. I would say ever since then, I will do my best to wake up in the morning and I'll come down and I'll read and then listen to some music and just kind of look outside and see like the wind blowing through the trees, or like see how the sunlight's hitting the trees. And I'm like, that's really pretty. Shadows are cool. And it's like, it's almost like I go back into that inner child mode of like, wow, like Mother Earth is freaking badass. I'm like, wow, I get to experience this. Like you said, like, I get to experience this.
Yeah.
Like have this peace of mind and this calm. So I love that you were, even in the movie theater today, you're like, yeah, I love the taste of this popcorn. I get to watch this incredible movie. I get to experience the luxury of air conditioning, knowing that there are people out there that don't have any of those luxuries. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. But but as you were saying all that, I'm like, girl, I think I love the movies because it takes me out of this reality.
That's the point. I mean, don't movies do that? Yeah, they do.
But that's what I've always loved movies. Yeah. But even like, because, you know, we were talking about all the different topics we want to talk about and things. Yeah. And I was sitting with it, I think this morning, where I'm like, I really feel like I've spent a lot of time avoiding this, what people call the 3D, right? This physical reality, because, just spending a lot of my 20s and 30s like partying hard, right? But my way of not feeling or not being present was through alcohol. So I would drink to the point where I'd black out, and for me it's like when I would drink alcohol, it grounded me to the point where I felt like I would go to the depths of the earth, and I just wouldn't feel, I just be on again, like I just wouldn't remember anything. And then with like after Ben's passing, I decided I wanted to be in the upper realms, which is what I would use marijuana for. So it's like I never wanted to be in the middle. I never wanted to be physically here, present, all of me. So I'd either use alcohol to go all the way down or marijuana to go all the way up. And now what I'm realizing is I'm like, I sigh because I'm like,
it's that balance.
It's like, yes.
That
Well,
balance.
it's not even the balance. It's just like, I've been praying and like asking the universe and all the creator and everything for all of these blessings. And they're like, and this is something that gets echoed to me all the time. It's like, you can't receive those blessings if you're not present.
And
and so that's where I'm just like, fine.
Interesting.
Like, yeah. So it's now that I'm, you know, I've been present more and more. I feel like I'm truly surrendering. Is what it is. I'm finally surrendering to the fact that, okay, I am here and the Lord ain't gonna let me die anytime soon. So Which is what I think I told my mom. I was like, even if I tried to kill myself, the Lord would spit me right back out. He's like, you got a lot of time left and I got a lot of stuff for you to do. And I'm like, okay. So I'm not going anywhere for some time. And I think even a while ago, I wrote like, well, I'm here. I might as well enjoy it.
Yeah.
And even then I was still dragging my feet through it all. Like,
Yeah.
do I really want to be here? But do I really? And yeah, ever since that meeting with Birdie, like, it's just, it almost like she planted a seed and it's growing really quickly.
I love that. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's growing. And I think it's fair to say that even for anyone who is listening to or watching this episode, like who hasn't at some point or even right now in the present feel that way at times where it's like everything feels like it's kind of just going through the motions or on autopilot or very mundane. And a lot of times it's like, okay, I want excitement every day. I want this, I want that, I want this. And it's like, but why? Why does everything have to be so adrenaline driven and things of that nature? And what I have learned is depending on how you've grown up and then just some of the things you've experienced in your life, especially if you have gone through major bouts of trauma or major events that have completely rewired your neurological system, it's like our bodies get used to having to be in chaos all the time or having to always constantly have some kind of stimulation. Mm-hmm. So I love that you are in this place where you are allowing yourself to surrender to the excitement of just being human itself, of like, wow, you know what? I have these incredible friends, these incredible people who love me. I get to be embraced by that unconditional love, like you mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. I get to have those moments where I escape into an action movie and I get to be on the wing of a plane with Tom Cruise as he's like flying however many feet in the air.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw today.
Exactly.
Like, this man is crazy.
Yeah. And it's like you get to immerse yourself in all these different experiences that allow you to like time travel or go into different realms and dimensions or allow yourself to be in these beautiful containers of like love or grace or surrendering or allowance or forgiveness, things of that nature. And I think a big part of that, at least to me, in my opinion, is the human experience. It's understanding that nothing is good or bad. Everything is actually very neutral. It's just how are you going to approach it and how are you going to embrace it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and mm-hmm. I love that the seeds are growing.
I'm like rolling my eyes.
I know, but I'm all over here like, yay! I'm just like, you can do it.
I appreciate it because, yeah, it's just, I think because I've always felt like an outsider or everything, there was always that part of me that was like, what am I even doing here? Like, what's the point? Like, what am I, like, why am I everybody's doormat? Why am I all these things that, like, as Western civilization continues and I'm so not the things that are, representative of success in the United States, I was constantly feeling like a failure. So it's like, well, I'm trying my hardest to be a great United States citizen, but I keep hitting walls. And I think once I started unpacking all of that and taking off all those layers of skins that I thought I was supposed to be, now that I'm like my raw true self and like really actively embracing my indigenous side, my native side, now I don't feel like I have to put on a show every day. Was something else that my teacher told me was like, we had to perform to survive.
Yeah.
And I just remember like Aztec dancers in Mexico and they're dancing for fucking pennies, for tourists and stuff. It's like our culture and our tradition and our beauties and all this stuff has become a show. And now that I don't have to pretend to do that anymore, it's like, okay, I can breathe. Yeah. And now I can show up as my true self, emotional, sensitive, freaking witchy and all these amazing other things, and not have to be afraid to really be my human self exactly as the creator wanted me to be. So I feel like I've created a place of safety to be myself. And I've done that by bringing in you and all the other people in my life and my pets and my relationship with all non-human things too. So now it's like, it doesn't feel like I'm alone anymore. And I think that's one of the main shifts that I'm experiencing in this moment, where I'm like, okay, I am going to allow myself to be loved and to love this human part of me, this meat suit. And I think, like we talked about in a previous episode, as far as our bodies, that's something I'm still sitting with.
Yeah.
It's another chunk of embracing the human journey.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And something I want to touch on that as you were talking, was knowing that, especially when you're part of a social and economic culture where you have to, quote unquote, play the game, you're kind of plugged in, and it's like, well, if you look like this and you make this amount of money and you're able to talk like this and that's what puts you up more on that hierarchical chart, so to speak. And then once you actually break free from that and you're like, well, no, F that nonsense. I'm going to create my own system, and I'm going to plug into Mother Earth and go back to my roots, and like literally the roots. What was coming through was just that whole idea of around, okay, once you actually unplug, at that point, it's like, okay, no wonder why it can feel scary as shit, because you're like, whoa, I've been having to dance, monkey dance for so long that now that I'm not, and, I've stripped everything bare. Now it's like, well, now I'm here naked, and I'm like, what do I do? What clothes do I wear now? Who am I? Like, who is this person? What are my beliefs? What are my thoughts? What does this human experience look like and feel like for me? How do I want it to feel and look like outside of what these other societal norms are telling us, the economic norms, everything else? And it's like, what resonates with me? What's going to fit with me and help me really feel like I'm Wendy, I'm Amira, I'm so-and-so. And so I really love that you shared that. And I feel like we're always going to be on that journey, and we're always going to be evolving, God willing, because if we're not evolving, then we're dying. Yeah. I mean, we're dying anyway, but but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, just as we talk about this, how we're going to feel completely different even a year from now. Imagine 10 years from now. 10 years from now, we're going to be in a completely different place and look back at this moment and think like, wow, we're embracing those previous versions of ourselves. And I think it's such a beautiful, I've really learned to see more of the beauty within the journey, while also embracing some of the shadows and the darkness aspects too. Because I honestly believe that is what creates the molding and the transformation. And that's what really tests, okay, how do you want to come out of this kiln? How do you want to come out of this fire? Do you want to come out a blazing sharp ass sword? And so I really believe it's those aspects that challenge us, that there's beauty in that too, even though it sucks ass in the midst of it.
Well, I'd love to ask a question.
Yeah.
What made you not embrace the journey?
Ooh, well, I mean, for me, just like when you were sharing earlier, when I was younger too, especially in my teens, and I shared this in a previous episode too, that I was a very, very troubled teen. For the longest time, I felt like I didn't belong either. I really had trouble fitting in with anyone, and a lot of people really used me for my brain or everything else. They'd be like, cool, we're going to be friends with her until we don't need her anymore, and then... And I just thought, okay, well, if that's all I'm here for, then why do I even want to be here? And at that time, too, from a religious standpoint, yeah, I had a belief and a theory, but I just wasn't really strong in that quite yet. So I just thought, what is the point of anything? So, as I shared in a previous episode, when I was 15, I did try to actually take my own life. And by the grace of God, I'm very thankful, very grateful that I'm still here. But I think it's honestly because of that life-changing experience that is what helped me see, like, wow, there is so much more beauty here than we allow ourselves to see. If we allow so much of the heaviness and the darkness and those lower vibrational feelings and thoughts and emotions get to us when we don't have great friends around us, when we don't have the ability to be in an environment that allows us to fully express, that allows us to be naked and embraces that. That's what causes so much of that dissonance and that sense of, why the F am I even here? I don't want to be here. And so I would say from that experience alone at 15, I completely changed my life around. And I was like, nope, I'm going to find people who I know see me and love me for who I am inside and out, and going to completely change my life around. Started having a better relationship with my parents, with learning and school and whatnot. And that's when I really started to embrace more of that knowing of, you know what, there's so much beauty out there. I'm going to go on a journey to find it. I'm going to become Dora the Explorer. Like, let's go find it. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Thank
it
you
for
for
me.
sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked, like, what was it when you came back from that experience of wanting to take your life that was, I want to say, like a switch, because it almost feels like there was a switch. And obviously, like, I think you shared that you experienced some like very peaceful things in those moments, but I feel like there's something that when you came back or you came to, like, what was the first feeling you felt from your heart? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I would say there was definitely a pool of different feelings. I wouldn't say it was just one in particular. I would say, I guess I would say initially, right off the bat, there was a lot of shame. There was a lot of shame and guilt, actually.
Oh, wow.
A lot of shame and guilt because God rest my father's soul, but my dad is my number one, will be all day, every day. And I remember when I woke up in the hospital and I looked over at him, just seeing his facial expression, it immediately made me think, like, wow, for me to be able to cause this magnitude of pain and despair and fear in the people around me that I love, that was a horrible feeling. Horrible feeling. And I thought, no. And I feel like because of that, I told myself, no matter how crazy, no matter how hard life gets, I will never allow myself to ever get to that point again. And even if at any point I start feeling like that, I'm calling someone, or I'm doing something to help release that from my body or do something. So, because I never ever want anyone to ever feel that way or to ever look at me like that ever again. So I would say initially it was shame and guilt. And then from that, because of the spiritual experience I had while I was dead for 3-4 minutes, however long that was, that really helped me have this deeper understanding that there's definitely more out there. And whatever anyone's beliefs are, for me it was, okay, I know what I experienced, I know what I saw, I know what I felt, and I'm like, no, I definitely have more to do, and I'm going to be on that journey and really work towards being that soul, that person that the universe is clearly wanting me to be. So, like, just like you mentioned earlier, even though I have those days too where I'm like, can today be the day? Can I come back into the cosmos today? Huh? And then I'll wait, and I'm like, nope, I'm still here. All right, I guess I got more to do. So it was shame, then guilt, then almost a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Like duty. Like, wow. I have a duty. Like, I have a duty to my fellow brothers and sisters on this 3D plane to help them figure out what they're wanting to do with their life, their purpose, and how to help them see the beauty of the world.
Thank you for sharing that, because mine is completely different.
I know.
It's like the conversation we were having before this. I was like, humans are fucking fucked up.
Yep,
like,
that was the comment.
They're over here like destroying themselves and, nuclear bombs and
That's true.
Every single freaking way that humans can try to alter themselves is what they're trying. Like, they're trying to run away from themselves. And I was like, I think I'm here to help Mother Earth rebalance herself. And part of rebalancing herself is being of service to humanity. And I think maybe that's why I get so about being a human, because I feel more attached to nature.
Yeah.
We're like birds and dogs and sand and air, and do not judge. It's all love. It's all respect. It's reciprocal. And humans are so woo-woo, like,
just like that.
Yes.
What if you are actually, because we are all connected, right?
Yeah.
We're all connected. And what if that cynicism, that disgust that you tend to feel is you actually feeling that from Mother Earth herself, because she's seeing what's happening. She's seeing just how jacked up we as humans treat her. And she's like, listen, y'all, I'm going to bring back the plagues. I'm going to bring back the flooding, like the fire. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for y'all to get your shit together to understand that I'm trying to help your ass out.
Bring in the dragons.
Bring in the dragons. But it's like, you guys keep effing this up. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, I think that's I think you just helped me figure it out. And thank you, Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible, for helping me have this this realization, because I truly think that's what it is I have really accepted that I am an extension of Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And exactly like when the fires were going on and
out here in
yeah,
California.
where I'm like, why is this affecting me so much? It's like, I'm transmuting the energy from Mother Earth. And I think that's exactly what it is that wherever I come from and whatever I do, I'm very, very interwoven with Mother Earth. And again, like obviously with humans, but I feel like my loyalty is with her.
Which I get that. And I think that's fair. And it's, as you speak, I feel what's coming through is, because you're obviously still here on your own mission, impossible. That was so bad, but I don't care. I had to. I couldn't help it. Because you're still on your own mission, I wonder if part of your mission is being able to transmute the energy from Mother Earth and be able to express that in the language of us humans.
Yeah.
Because I believe we all have that ability, but so many of us are so disconnected because of being deep in certain vices and things of that nature, that we're so disconnected from what Mother Earth is trying to tell us, that it's up to people like you, me, our other circle of friends, people in the health, wellness, business, things of that nature, for us to be able to transmute and help people kind of come back from that disassociation.
Oh, yeah.
Come back from the dissonance, come back from the fuzziness, the fog, and be like, hey, we know this is scary as shit, but you know what's going to be even scarier? If you continue to stay in that fog, or like continue to bury your head in the dirt, or continue to build things that are going to practically destroy humanity.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Thank you. Yes, I agree. I think because of all the paths that I have been taken on, and, like walking each other home and returning to Mother Earth and disconnecting from the programming that was shoved down our throats and connecting back to Mother Earth, like literally just plugging into her. That I was thinking about this today. I'm like, that is the revolution that I had been feeling for so long, is that at some point in my youth, I kept feeling like something's going to happen. Something's happening. Like a revolution is coming. Yeah. And I always thought it was going to be us with like guns and like, burning down the White House or something. And now I'm like, holy crap. The revolution is us disconnecting from the programming. Mm-hmm. Our ancestors, our indigenous ancestors, from wherever you come from, like even white people, you guys got indigenous ancestors too somewhere. Mm-hmm. But everybody's disconnecting from the masks or that programming, and we're reconnecting to our ancestors. They're teaching us or helping us remember the ways, and we are bringing it here to this present moment, like to make it anew. And I feel like that's why they call us the new ancestors, because we're taking the old ways and we're bringing it to what makes sense to us now.
Yeah. We're the ones that are, again, we're translating. We're translating. We're the translators.
Yes, we are.
We're here to help transmute. We're alchemizing it, and then we're transmuting it in a language that everyone can understand. And I think that's what I mean when I say that's the beauty of the human experience, is we get to be the translators.
That's crazy. Say it that way, I'm like, damn, we really are Avengers,
saying, girl. Like, that's what I mean.
Like,
we are.
I get to be a magical ass bitch.
We're the translators. We are. And the thing is, everyone has the ability to do that. But there is so much negativity out there. There's so much of that deconditioning that needs to happen, like you're saying, where people are still so plugged into that matrix where they're like, but even though I know this steak isn't real, I'm going to eat it anyway because this is feeling high and lofty and mighty. And I'm like, but it's dirt. It's just a bunch of zeros and ones. It doesn't exist. What are you doing? I'm like, no. No.
I'll eat my 0 and 1 tacos.
It's like, no, but that's why, like, I love that you wanted to bring this topic to place, because I'm always that girl that sees the world through rose-colored glasses, which can sometimes get me in trouble. But I always try to see the good in everybody, because I believe, I'm like, I know you're in there. I know that light's in there, It's covered by a bunch of shit. But let's like wipe it down. Let's like,
Yeah.
let's take a power washer, like power wash that. Like, I know
Girl.
it's possible.
Yeah, but I think
know
that's
it's
gotten me
possible.
in trouble too, because I tend to see, I always, regardless of what's in front of me, I will always see the potential in someone.
Say, girl. Mhm.
Always see the potential. And so this person can be cussing me out or treating me this way. Like I said earlier, I could be treated like a doormat, but because I see them and who they are in the inside, like I see their shininess and their brightness and their potential to be, their true, authentic, beautiful, glowy self. It's like I'm so stubborn that I just continue to like, just let me give you a hug.
Exactly.
Let me just scrub your little. No, and it's but like like you said, some people are double down on the shenanigans, and I've gotten to a place where I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna just go chill with the squirrel then.
Yep. I'm like, well, you know where to find me. I'm in the land of Delulu. Yeah. It's a great land.
But I think it's the opposite. We're not in Delulu. Like I remember somebody said, like, if we're the ones that are insane, then why would you want to be sane?
Oh, no,
Does
that's
that
fair.
make sense?
No,
Like,
that's fair.
Like, I will totally live in Delulu land if this is what it is.
It's
like,
fun. I enjoy it.
I enjoy it too.
Yeah.
I have a great time.
Same.
It's like all my dreams are becoming reality being in Delulu land. So.
I agree. Honestly, you know what? As you say that, there's a quote somewhere, and I'm horribly paraphrasing. There's someone out there somewhere said something like, in order to actually collapse timelines and have your dreams and desires and your manifestations come faster and sooner, you have to actually reside in the land of Delulu. Like, you have to.
Delulu is delusion, everybody.
Yeah.
That doesn't know.
Well,
Sorry.
And you know what? If you didn't know, then well, welcome. Welcome. Yes.
Yeah, but yes, I love that.
Yeah.
You have to be so in tune with yourself and how like maybe ridiculous some of the things you feel or say sound. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like on my way here, I'm like, I believe in myself 1,000,000,000% because I know things are happening and I know they're going to happen.
Yeah.
And just being in that place of like knowing, it makes you so confident and just so like unstoppable. And I think because our desires are so grounded in love and wanting, to be of service and all of those things. And we're not just doing these things because we're bored. Like these things we're actually passionate about the things we talk about and the way we show up to everything, that it's almost like it just makes us more unstoppable or more of a force.
Ooh, yes, we is.
Yeah.
We are forces. Forces.
Yeah. And I think like going back to like the reading with Birdie, they're like, people, there's so many entities or spirits or whatever that want to be on Earth so bad because it's like the school of life. Like this is like, you want to get some real evolution, you go to Earth. And I'm just staring at her like, well, damn.
But you're shifting it, and you're
Yes, I
starting
am.
to see.
Yes, I am.
While,
Yes.
While also continuing to
Earth school.
like embrace and love on those parts that every once in a while or still kind of have that feeling of, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. That's okay. And I love that we touched on this. I would love for those like our listeners and those who watch to be able to share in the comments too, like what part of this human experience, this human existence, do you actually enjoy? Is it eating? Is it traveling? Is it making memories with family and friends? Like, and sometimes, and it doesn't even have to be anything quote unquote big like that. Maybe it's you just love watching the sunrise. You just love waking up, or you just love being able to slip into that 800 thread count Egyptian cotton sheet because it feels nice on your legs, and you're like,
Right? Okay, I'm gonna give you. Okay, here's a challenge. Give me 3 things you love about being a human being.
Food. Food is one. I love all the foods. I will try all the foods, all except pork, because pork doesn't like me. I try to like it, but foods. Okay. Foods. Oh my God, I love looking into the eyes of my golden retriever because I feel like animals, but especially my Bubba, my boy, where I get cuteness aggression. I just like, just want to, like I look into his eyes and I feel like the innocence of the world is just there. And I feel my heart just be like, life is great. Look at this beautiful boy. He is the innocence of the world. And then numero tres. I would say getting the chance to actually feel and know what true love is like. And I don't mean just from a romantic standpoint, but wow, seeing the love that my fathers, my mothers, my siblings, my friends, they show me, whether it's through actions, their words, how they support me. And for me to be able to reciprocate that, that to me is so beautiful when you want to see someone win.
Yeah.
And when you love them so much that you're like, I'm there for you no matter what. Experiencing that feeling, that. I'm all about that.
Holler.
Yeah.
I love that.
What about you, girl? What are your 3 things?
I think one for me is definitely traveling.
Yeah.
I always love traveling abroad. Just because I get to experience cultures, and it's always such an amazing feeling when you get off of a plane in another country and you're like, I am on a completely different part of the world.
Yep.
And I get to experience all these new things and all these people, and it's almost like it doesn't feel real sometimes because it's Earth, but it's so different than what you're used to. So traveling for sure. 2, and I'm just gonna be very honest, is sex.
Yeah. Hey.
I love the feeling of having sex. I think it's just the connection you feel with someone. And I think, which is very odd because of my like disdain of being a human being. But at the same time, like I love being so connected with someone because in those moments or in that action, you're like literally connecting to someone in every freaking way and in such a vulnerable way. So I'm a little bit, I think I need to sit with some.
Girl, I love it. I'm just like, yeah.
I hate being a human. But I do love being a human.
I do love the sexy time. Yes.
That's my Scorpio talking. Okay.
Oh, girl, I feel that too.
Number 3, I would say I'm gonna go with you with love.
Yeah.
And in all of its forms, because when it all boils down, it always comes back to love for me and being able to feel it and to give it. And in all, like I said, from everything and everyone. So I think like the fact that we're even able, like that we were even conscious of the different forms of love, not just from human, like a human perspective, is so big. And that our vessels are so big that we can feel it from everywhere. So I'm going to say love.
Yeah. Love.
Sex, love, and traveling.
And food. You gotta have energy for more sex. You gotta have that food.
That's right.
See, I'm helping you out, girl.
Thank you.
So we would love to know if y'all want to share maybe your top 3 things in the comments. That would be cool.
Yes, please.
Do that.
I'd love
share
to
your top 3.
Let's hear them.
Let's do it. Yeah, friends. Well, I loved this. I thought this was a fantastic just way for us to be able to express our love and even just, you know, some of the struggles we have with that human experience. And so I'm glad we had this conversation.
Yeah, me
this
too.
Was great.
I think so too.
Good.
I think it's another layer of me to sit with.
I love that. I'm going to sit with some things too. So Thank you for sharing what you share, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, friends. Well, I meant to say this earlier, but please subscribe, like, comment, all the things. We'd appreciate you. You can also find our podcast on the Insta. Follow us on Instagram. We also have our individual Instagrams as well, which will be located in the description.
See.
So we would love to hear from you, say hi, all the things. And until next time, Izzle.
Yeah. Take care of yourselves.
Peace out.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.